I'm Dean, I'm the dad.
I'm Laura, I'm the mom.
And I'm Krysta, and I'm the daughter.
And together we are Family Plot. Well, that was nice. How are you two lovely ladies today?
Tired.
I am sorry you are tired, Krysta.
Been working hard, but hanging in there. How about you, my darling?
I got a lot started, if not done today, so...
That's good, so you were feeling productive.
Yeah.
Good word.
I'm feeling productive. Or like I produced something, and not just a podcast.
Well, there you go.
Speaking of the podcast, welcome to the show. Remember, we do have a new Patreon. The amounts are just 1 and 3 at this point. We will be continuing to upload old content without ads, as well as we will be recording very soon our first Patreon episode, just trying to work out a guest, because our Patreon episodes are going to be guest-filled things where we just talk about whatever floats our boat, whatever makes us happy at that time.
Absolutely.
So
we want to have lots of guests on, and we want to have lots of just silliness and enjoyable content. And
yes. Just remember about the new Patreon. If you can't do a monthly donation, you can always do Buy Me a Coffee, which is just a one-time donation, $1 to whatever. And if you can't do money at all, which we don't judge, what you can do is share the show on social media if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, please keep it to yourself.
I got on the back end, but...
Yeah, well, you got on. That's all that matters. So what are we doing tonight? Well, tonight, we set the Wayback Machine
it's a cardboard box.
Mom! Don't break the man's heart!
You're right. Go ahead, dear. Play with your buttons.
Today, we set the Wayback Machine to the fog-shrouded mists of the 16th and 17th century, where Europeans settling the New World began to hear strange legends of the Moon-Eyed people, a group that was told to be pale like the Europeans, and others claimed were milk white. These legends claim that these people once lived in the Southern Appalachians, and we examine these legendary claims in this Is It Folklore or Is It History episode of the Family Plot podcast. Now, I should also add that the Moon-Eyed people are a belief and a myth that are debated by historical scholars to this day. We will not have a solution to this mystery. So for those of you that like things nice and wrapped up, sorry.
So, if we're talking about a mystery, shouldn't we maybe be pretending that the not cardboard box is the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo instead of the Wayback Machine?
I like the Wayback Machine. And, keep giving me guff about it. It's going to become a TARDIS.
Okay, see, I like a TARDIS. I'm okay, but, at least we have the decor for that. I can take a picture of the shower curtain. I'm sorry, honey. But first...
Yes, before we get into any of this, my dear Krysta has a corner. Wait.
It's not just any corner, it's Krista's Corner!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my corner. I am Krysta. I am your host of the co-host, not the co-host. I'm the host of your corner. I am tired today. I got 3 hours.
I love you, Krysta. Go ahead. What's in the corner this week, Chris?
I got an owl plushie.
And it's such a cute little Hallow Owl plushie. Dressed up like a little Moomy.
That I got from Sam's Club for $20.
Holy biscuits. Okay, cool. I guess. Yeah, he's cute.
He's got gold lame feet.
He does, and they look like little...
Little paw claws.
No. They look like chip bags.
Yeah, kinda.
I can see that too.
But he's got gold lame feet and a gold lame beak. Plus he's wearing a bat.
His beak is like a little bean in the center of his face, which is funny, because he's like a squishmellow, right?
He's like a squishmellow. But he's not. He's like an off-brand squishmallow.
I was going to say, I thought it looked like a cross between an owl plushie and a pillow.
Yeah. That's what they were trying to do.
Yep.
I don't know why they chose a mummy for the owl. Like, why not do a zombie or something? I don't know.
You know, that's how they roll.
Because he didn't like his daddy. Ha 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 ha! I'm so funny. Sorry, everyone.
I'm wearing him down, y'all. I'm wearing him down.
The crickets play. Anyway. Yes, I just said nobody laughed.
I didn't say anything. I'm waiting for more stuff out of your corner.
Yeah.
I also got bracelet. Well, technically, I think.
You got spoiled.
I got spoilt.
You was hanging out with your adopted grandma, and you got a little spoiled.
I'm not sure I'd call it spoiled. She worked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Grandma was talking about how hard she's been working the past couple of days.
Hard, kiddo?
My arm hurts now.
Aw, here, Mama kiss it. Mwah.
I can't, like, push it straight or else it, like, starts hurting, like, right here, and it's just like, ow! I pulled it or something when I was working.
She's such a good girl. She's such a hard worker.
She is. She gets that from you, dear.
No, it's possible. Quit hurting yourself. We need to put some biofreeze on that. Here. We are not sponsored by Biofreeze, but we are definitely big fans. So
we're using it.
We use Biofreeze frequently in this house.
Yes, we do.
I love the balloon.
So what else, Krysta?
Well, I slipped and fell when trying to catch a cat.
You did. Did you get bruises from that or no?
I think I do have a bruise somewhere now.
Which
one right here.
Which cat was she trying to catch?
Obsidian. This time, surprisingly.
When she was cleaning out Noelle's cage before she went to Grandma's, she fell because she had the back door open,
and I was about to go out there.
He tried to take off out the back door.
Ah, that's right. You had said something about that.
I have a couple bruises on this leg. I have one here.
And she full on face planted, fell hard. I was afraid she had broken something for a minute.
I'm sorry. I did not know about this.
Oh. We don't inform you of much then, huh?
That's not true. We told him he had just forgotten. He just didn't realize how serious it was.
Yeah, okay. I guess when you tell me someone fell and everybody seems okay with it, I imagine, little trip, something.
Yeah, no.
It was full on face plant would be, oh my God, Krysta darn near flattened her face earlier. And then I would be, is my Krysta okay? Is everything all right?
I believe the words that I said to you were, Krysta tried to kill herself this morning, but everything's fine now.
Oh. I
Yeah.
didn't try to kill myself.
I know, it was really Morsidian's fault. It's not your fault. I'm sorry.
Well, there was also water on the floor.
There was, and the water was my fault.
So, what else are we talking about in Krysta's Corner other than, Mom hijacking the segment?
She has this cute little fox where she can boop its nose. Look, boop, boop.
I can boop its nose. Its nose is higher than its face, so you can actually
It's
boop
totally
it. It goes
boopable.
in. It's little. It's so cute. I named it Elise. I named it Elise. This is my fox, Elise.
Elise the fox.
And she goes on my lanyard with the rest of my buddies.
Well, there you go.
Your lanyard's starting to look a little heavy set there, girlfriend.
That's okay.
That's okay, because she isn't. So she can have a heavy set lanyard.
I can have a heavy set lanyard because I'm not a
Sure.
heavy set lady.
Oh, and look. It's our favorite little sister.
A 6-year-old. Please don't. Okay, whatever. Oh, your face is sticky. Lovely. Exactly what I wanted to get on my arm.
So any more stuff from Krysta's Corner?
I got a Monster High doll from Walmart. It was $17.
Cool. Which one?
I got Laguna Blue.
Oh, okay. The only one I remember anymore is Draculaura.
You don't remember Frankie?
No.
Blue got Frankie. Draculaura wasn't there, or else I would have gotten her. Because I love Draculaura. She's my favorite. I was looking for Little Pet Shops originally because I love collecting them, but I don't
I
think they're at
haven't
Walmart.
seen any LPS.
I haven't seen them in a while.
in quite some time. You're right.
I've only seen them on Amazon and the website of Walmart.
I don't know. Lexi was watching Cookie Swirl C,
Uh-huh.
and she had a bunch of new ones from...
Those are Shawkins, not LPS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shopkins have been around for a while. I can't believe LOL dolls are still here, but LPS are discontinued for some reason.
Well,
They're not discontinued.
LPS
They're
were a
working
thing
on-
all the way back when I was a kid, whereas LOL surprise dolls have only been a thing probably the last 10 or 12 years, so.
Heck, when I was a kid, we had Weebles.
Weebles wobble and they don't fall down. They're still Weebles. I love Weebles. Weebles are
No. They're not still Weebles. I don't know what there are, but they're not Weebles.
Weebles, but they make Dad upset.
Weebles were egg-shaped, about yay big, and that's it. They weren't these fat people with arms. No.
Dad, they're Weebles.
They're not Weebles.
They're just a different generation of Weebles.
No, they're not Weebles.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Father?
Wow, this escalated quickly. So is there anything else going on in Krysta's Corner?
I got a doggy sticker from Target when I got my Dino
Your
mask.
Dino mask.
The Dino mask that was $30 that Mom bought for me. Thank you, Mom. I was a good kid though, so
You're not supposed to rat me out that I'm buying that kind of stuff for you when we can't really afford it, but you're welcome.
I'll edit it out.
Earned it.
I'll edit it out.
You earned it. You're a good baby.
And yes, you work harder than both your brothers combined most days.
Most days, yes, it's true.
Sometimes I'm too tired because I overworked the first day.
That's true.
That's because you don't have any sense of balance.
No,
I don't.
She gets that from me too, I'll be real darn honest. I did the same thing to myself last week on Saturday.
I got crocheting stuff. Grandma's going to teach me how to crochet. I also got peacock crochet hooks from her. They're very pretty. I'm going to put them up on my wall.
I'll have to send you an invite to the Ignorance Was Bliss Discord. There's a lot of people who crochet on there.
It's super fun.
And
I
they're
know a lot of people who crochet things and then sell them too, so there's that.
well, they talk about places I want to say it's called Yarn World, where it's just this giant warehouse full of yarn.
Yep,
There.
sounds about right.
That's a lot of yarn.
It is a lot of yarn.
Must be a ball.
They don't usually sell yarn in balls. It's normally these weird barbell-looking things, but, you know. Then you can take it home and you make it into a ball. I don't know why they don't sell them as balls.
I didn't ruin your jokes.
I liked your joke. I laughed a lot. You're welcome.
I was just trying to make a different joke. I didn't feel like I'd ruined it. I feel like I tagged onto it. I yes-anded, which is what I'm supposed to do.
It's like corner people are supposed to focus on me, not you.
Oh, okay.
Excuse us.
I'm joking.
So, are you ready to go and audition for your first play this year at high school? Because this will be your first year in high school.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to audition in a play quite yet.
I don't know why not. When they have open auditions, there's no reason you can't audition for that, babe.
Put your foot on my baby.
I want to get you involved in all of that. It'll be great.
Why?
Because you love it.
I do love it. I love
That's
watching.
right.
I love watching other people do it.
Nuh-uh.
Did you see that play though?
I did.
The one that we went to.
Yeah, Jesus Christ Superstar.
Starlight.
Starlight, yeah.
It was great.
I know.
Yeah, but Krysta, I know that you can see yourself up there with the cast.
Yeah.
I'd be too sweaty. I'd smell bad.
No, you will be fine. I'm telling you. Do not give yourself enough credit. Anyway.
My parents want me to go to plays and play and then...
No,
I want you
Krysta,
to be happy with your life.
I want you to be, yeah.
And it was really nice for us to see you kind of light up and sparkle about something that you really enjoyed.
And something that could be a career for you. Yeah, I mean, the chances of you being the next Marilyn Monroe...
But you know, all of my critical role people, almost every single one of them before they went into voice acting, they all were in some kind of theater in school.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, the chances of you being the next Marilyn Monroe or something, probably not huge, and that's not against your talent or anything else. I'm just talking statistics. But the chances of you being able to make a living as an actress, those are pretty good. You got everything it takes. You've got a big personality. I mean, heck, you're on a podcast.
She could be on more podcasts if she wanted to be.
She could.
I could probably talk for hours.
So what else is going on in Krysta's Corner?
I'm trying to think. I got some really good strawberry shortcake ice cream when I was at Grandma's. Those strawberry shortcake crunch ice cream bars, those are amazing.
Now, we've got some Chobani yogurts that the strawberry cheesecake was really good.
Mm. Cool.
And it doesn't actually have chunks of strawberry in it, which is good for me because I'm not...
A strawberry guy?
Yeah, I just don't like the texture of strawberries.
He doesn't like the seeds.
For, I mean, it feels weird. It's chewy, and then all of a sudden, you munch on a seed. It's just like.
And actually, even that's not like if we're having strawberry shortcake and you just, chop up some strawberries and throw it on, maybe a little powdered sugar. That's fine. It's when you put it in ice cream and it's like, I don't know.
It gets hard.
Yeah.
It gets hard.
And it doesn't feel good on the tongue to me.
Yeah. No.
I also got to hold some hamsters.
They're guinea pigs.
God darn it. I got to hold some guinea pigs. I got to hold Coco and
Pumpkin.
My grandma's guinea pig, my grandma and Brandon.
Yeah, and Brandon. Yeah. I guess we could call him a cousin? Uncle seems weird. Anything else going on in Krista's corner?
I got bracelets.
She got bracelets.
Yes, I saw that, and you
Lots of bracelets.
and I like them.
8.
They're very purple and pinky.
Purple, pink, and black, good colors.
Don't eat those.
Not black.
They're not black. It's a very
It's a dark
purple.
purple.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Just next to everything, it does look black. So
Yeah, it's very dark. It's a very sudden change to dark purple. Oh my gosh, I can put these in water.
Have we come to the end of Krista's corner?
No, I just got distracted.
Okay.
Putting my bracelets.
Yes, they're beautiful. Did you
Lightest to darkest.
want to
Krista,
talk about anything else?
volume up.
I arranged my bracelets in lightest to darkest.
Very nice.
I got distracted with it.
Very nice.
I got new shoes.
I was gonna say, are those new shoes? Because
These are new shoes.
They're lovely.
you're not wearing socks with them, but
Oh, yes, I am.
are you?
They're
Yes.
just no-show socks.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes, I'm a good kid. I'm wearing socks.
I
Awesome.
was gonna say, I cannot imagine that Grandma would have let her be walking around in brand new shoes with no socks.
No, actually, I asked her for socks.
Very nice.
I asked her for socks so I wouldn't destroy these shoes.
Cool.
I mean, she probably still will, but at least they'll last a little longer.
Oh.
So what else is going on in Krista's corner?
I also got Takis because spicy chips, why not?
Well, I was going to say, spice kind of runs in the Bose half of the family, so. Edward's side, not so much, but the Bose side, yeah. And even on the Edward side, it's not a dislike, it's just, don't you have, like, an allergy to certain of the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Edward? Edwards is my maiden name.
I got a jacket from Walmart along with a crop top.
Yeah, that's the one with the Looney Tunes on them.
Characters.
They're
Yeah.
Looney Tunes characters, but they're dressed up as Warner Brothers. They're dressed up as the
Superheroes.
DC superheroes.
Right.
So it's like Batman and Wonder Woman and...
Dimmick stole it. And Robin and
What do you mean Dimmick stole it?
Jim joined it before I left.
I am gonna beat him within an inch of his life. He doesn't need to be wearing your jacket.
Bonk. It's bonking.
We'll bonk him when he gets home.
Okay.
So what else you got?
I got a new stylus to draw on my phone.
Cool.
Sorry, that's right. I got a new stylus to draw on my phone from my friend as a gift because mine broke.
Cool.
I never said that. And they were just like, do you need a new one? I'm just like, yeah, probably. And they're just like, here, I'll buy you one. I'm like, no! They're just like, yeah. I'm like, ugh. Okay.
This is a good friend.
Good friend.
Very good.
No, not like that. They don't, like, they're not into dating people.
After Bug, I think she's taken some time off the dating scene.
I'm not gonna date anyone at the moment. I'm
Okay.
kinda dated out after Bug happened, after I got cheated on. I'm like, girl, get out!
Sometimes that's how you got to do it. It's
I'm gonna get
alright.
out of the dating pool. Oh, thank you. Sorry, sir. I'm not up for dating.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
Get to know the person before I start dating them.
Sounds like a plan. I hope you stick to that.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. I don't actually find romantic attraction to someone unless I, get to know them first and have, like, a good bond with them.
Cool. So anything...
New fact about Krysta. Wow.
Hey, we like learning stuff. So anything else?
No, I think I've taken up enough time.
Okay. Well... So that was Krysta's Corner. Thank you, Krysta.
That all happened in 2 days.
Pretty awesome.
Yep.
So before I get into this next part, I do want to comment on something. Appalachians.
Appalachian Mountains?
The Appalachian. Well, here's the thing. The people who live there, depending on where they live, they have very strong feelings about how you pronounce it. And I've heard Appalachians and I've heard Appalachians. And if you go online, it's about 50-50 of people saying how you pronounce it. So I'm going to say Appalachians. You all can pronounce it however you want. And if you are one of those people who says, darn it, it's Appalachians, I'm going to apologize now. Appalachians makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. If we have to live with the fact that some people say Missouri,
I think...
even though there's no A on the end of the state's name, then I think they can probably deal with us saying Appalachians instead of Appalachians.
Oh my god, wait. My Genshin account, I thought it was taken away, but I got it back thanks to Dimmix.
That's an important thing to add because I know you were really upset about
I
that.
was really sad about that. I spent a lot of money on Venti. I spent like $50 on it. So it made me sad when I thought I lost him.
That would definitely upset you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got your account back.
Yes, I'm glad I did too.
I'm glad you got it back. So, that being, after we've discussed the pronunciation between Appalachians,
right.
Any discussion of the Moon-Eyed people has to include some discussion of the Southern Appalachians, which is where they were rumored to make their home. The Appalachian Mountain Range is an ancient band of mountains that stretches in a southwestern arc from the Canadian province of Newfoundland to central Alabama, the heart of the southeastern United States. The highest peak in the Appalachians is Mount Mitchell, which is in North Carolina, and it lies at an elevation of 6,684 feet above sea level. The Appalachians are also home to animals like moose, white-tailed deer, black bears, beaver, chipmunks, rabbits, squirrels, foxes, not foxfish, weirdly, but foxes.
Because foxfish aren't actual animals.
He knows. He was trying to make a joke.
I
Right.
appreciate it. I appreciate you incorporating my ideas into episodes.
Raccoons, opossums, skunks,
I love opossums. They're so cute.
groundhogs, porcupines, bats, weasels, shrews, minks, frogs, salamanders, turtles, rattlesnakes, and copperheads.
Well, sure. Just a few animals.
There are also birds, which include hawks, woodpeckers, warblers, thrushes, wrens, nuthatches, flycatchers, sapsuckers, and grouses. More than 2,000 species of plants are believed to live along the mountain range, with 200 species living only in the southern Appalachians. These would include plants like the rhododendron, azalea, and mountain laurel are among those producing flowers. In addition, there are a multitude of tree species, which includes red spruce, balsam, fir, sugar maple, buckeye, beech, ash, birch, red oak, white oak, poplar, walnut, sycamore, yellow poplar, eastern hemlock, and chestnut oak. Also, mushrooms, ferns, mosses, and grasses are abundant in the region as well. So, obviously, this area was quite desirable for any indigenous culture because food is abundant in many forms there.
Sure.
certain indigenous Americans squabbled over it with European settlers, so it's likely the land was squabbled over long before that. Indeed, there are ancient fortifications here, like the fort on top of Fort Mountain, which is located at Fort Mountain Park in Georgia, and ancient walls of stone indicating that it was occupied for some time.
Absolutely. So, obviously, there was a lot going on in this area even long before the United States was a thing, and long before there were really any white settlers that had taken up residence here. So, next we're going to talk about the Cherokee people. The Cherokee who spoke of the Moon-Eyed people were not native to the Southern Appalachians. Most think they either began as an Iroquois-speaking people from the Great Lakes who had come south, or part of a larger group of Iroquois-speaking people who lived to the south. Whatever the case, the Cherokee, who were known as one of the more civilized tribes by European settlers, told tales of not being the first to claim the new land. Furthermore, while Cherokee would make structures out of stone, their homes and council cabins were essentially windowless log cabins with a hide-covered hole for an entrance and a hole in the roof. They certainly did not make the stone fortifications that exist here and there around the country. Now, the Cherokee passed down tales as a part of a long-standing oral tradition. So it is not known how accurate their history was, because history to many Native American tribes also included what we would call myths. It was just the way the Cherokee saw their world.
Now let's take a moment for a word from our sponsors before we cut over to our Krysta here.
Hey, babe.
Yes?
I feel sponsored.
Yay!
I also feel sponsored.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay for sponsoring, yay.
Okay, so around around the 1700s, settlers began moving into the Appalachians and encountering the Cherokee. Cherokee?
Yeah.
Cherokee.
Even then, the Cherokee memories of the Moon-Eyed people were dim. The story kept alive by only a few elders and chiefs. The Cherokee claimed that when they moved the land, that a few people
That a people, meaning like a tribe or a group, a people.
That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. That a people already inhabited the land. These people were unable to see in the daylight, and that the Cherokee warred them?
Ward. They fought.
The Cherokee warred them.
Warred with them.
Warred.
Do you want me to do it, baby?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cherokee warred with them, driving them from the land. According to some tales, these men were not white. According to others, their color is never mentioned.
You added a word. It's these men were white. That's one of the things.
Why is that an issue? It doesn't matter if they're black or white.
Well, no, honey, it's just, you're right. It's not. It doesn't matter what color we are. But this is just, because it's part of the myth, they didn't look like the indigenous people.
Right.
So the Cherokee told the stories that these were white men who had come before the European settlers, but they still were light-skinned like the European settlers. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
See, now I'm messing up.
The first European documentations of the legend dated to 1797, when the noted American botanist and professor Benjamin Smith Burton writes in his book of these ancient moon-eyed people, apparently from a first-hand account. He cited a Colonel Leonard Marbury, who served as an intermediary between the American government and the Cherokee tribe. Burton writes, "The Cherokee," and he spells that really odd, tell us that when they first arrived in the country, which they inhabit now, they found it possessed by a certain moon-eyed people who could not see in the daytime. These wretches they expelled. A later article states that Burton considered the mysterious race as being albino, explaining the fact that they could not see during the daylight, because many albinos, because of the lack of pigment in their eyes, do not see well in bright light. However, Burton goes on to connect these accounts with those of a Welsh maritime explorer, Lionel Wafer. Wafer, in his 1699 book, A New Voyage and Description of the Isthmus of America, described communities of albinos that he encountered in the Isthmus of Darien amongst the Kuna Indians. His tale goes like this. There is one complexion so singular among a sort of people in this country, I never saw nor heard of any like them in any part of the world. They are white, and there are both of them of both sexes. They differ from the other Indians chiefly in respect of color, though not in that only. Their skins are not of such a white as those fair people among Europeans, but rather a milk white, lighter than the color of any Europeans, and much like that of a white horse. For there is this further remarkable in them, that their bodies are beset all over, more or less, with a fine, short, milk-white down, which adds to the whiteness of their skins. The men would probably have white bristles for beards, did they not prevent them, their custom, by plucking the young beard up by the roots continually. Their eyebrows are milk-white also, and so is the hair of their heads, and very fine withal, about the length of 6 or 8 inches, and inclining to a curl. And what is yet is more strange, their eyelids bend and open in an oblong figure, pointing downward at the corners, and forming an arch, or figure of a crescent, with the points downwards. From hence, and from seeing so clear as they do in moonshiny nights, we used to call them moon-eyed, for they see not very well in the sun, pouring in the clearest day, their eyes being but weak and running with water if the sun shines towards them. So that in the daytime they care not go abroad unless it be a cloudy, dark day. But notwithstanding their being thus sluggish and dull and restive in the daytime, yet when moonshiny nights come, they are all life and activity, running abroad and into the woods, skipping about like wild bucks, and running as fast as moonlight, even in the gloom and shade of the woods, as the upper Indians do by day, being as nimble as they, though not so strong and lusty. The copper-colored Indians seem not to respect these so much as those of their own complexion, looking on them as somewhat monstrous.
Aww.
Over time, there were many other documentations of these myths that all generally attributed to the Cherokee. Ezekiel Sanford, writing in his History of the United States before the Revolution, which sounds like a class textbook, and B.R. Carroll, in his historical collections of South Carolina, mentioned the moon-eyed people as a Cherokee tradition. They attribute this story they documented to the early American historian James Adair.
Cool. In 1902, Writer James Mooney attempted to connect the earlier story of Benjamin Barton with other similar accounts he collected. His book, Myths of the Cherokee, revisits the work of another early American historian, John Haywood. The latter wrote in 1823 in his book, Natural and Aboriginal History of Tennessee, of white people who were extirpated in part and in part were driven from Kentucky and probably also from West Tennessee. Haywood gathered accounts of the Cherokee passed through generations which describe how they encountered white people on the Little Tennessee River. They discovered fortifications that contained hoes, axes, guns, and other metallic utensils. When arriving for the first time in this region, the Cherokee met no other Aboriginal groups. According to the tales, they found a series of fortifications that stretched down the Tennessee River all the way to the Chickamauga Creek. They also gave the precise locations of 3 such forts. Apparently, the invading Cherokee fought a war with these people, driving them away to the mouth of the Big Chickamauga, where a certain treaty was made, allowing the white people to flee the area in peace. James Mooney also gathered 2 similar independent sources from older Cherokee that recall traditions of people who were very small and perfectly white that lived north of the Hiawassee River when the Cherokee first arrived in the area. They subsequently fled westward.
So that brings us to the Madoc theory. A Welsh prince named Madoc ab Owain Gwynedd and his brother Rhirid allegedly decided to flee from Wales in 1170 because of a civil war between their brothers. Sailing west, the brothers allegedly landed in North America and established a settlement. Legend states that Madoc even returned to Wales to bring more people across the Atlantic with him. And though Madoc and Rhirid subsequently disappeared from the historical record, their story was kept alive from the 12th century onward through Welsh songs and stories. So when the Welsh came to America in the 17th and 18th century, they saw the ruins in places like Fort Mountain, Georgia, and believed the stonework was similar to what they remembered from their home country. In 1608, a party found the Monacans, which was a Native American tribe, language so similar to Welsh that they had Peter Wynne, a member of the group who spoke Welsh, do the translating. Adding to this melange, however, one of the best sources of the tale comes from an early governor of Tennessee, John Sevier, or Sevier. I'm not entirely sure of that pronunciation. During his time, many areas of the Appalachians were part of the Cherokee Nation. According to some sources, John Sevier visited a unique site in Georgia in 1782, the Fort Mountain. There he met a venerable Cherokee chief, Oconostota, who was 90 years old in 1782, and heard from him a unique story that the chief learned from his forefathers. The story told of the fort being built by white men from across the Great Water. Oconostota said these men crossed the Great Water and landed first near the mouth of the Alabama River near Mobile. On Fort Mountain, crumbling traces remain of a once mighty wall, almost 900 feet long, 12 feet thick, and 7 feet high in some places. The wall bears a striking resemblance to European battlements. Sevier even told a friend that the wall had been built by the Welsh writing that they constructed it as a protection against the ancestors of the Cherokee, who eventually drove them from the region, which just tells me he knows nothing about the Cherokee, because the ancestors of the Cherokee didn't really live there. They lived elsewhere. They moved in, but whatever. In 1799, Sevier wrote of skeletons that had been discovered near Indiana wearing brass breastplates with a Welsh coat of arms. This claim was later repeated by noted historian Thomas Hind in 1823.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
First, no proof exists that Owain Gwynedd?
Owain Gwynedd.
Yeah. Owain Gwynedd had sons named Maddox or Ryrid?
Ryrid is how I've been pronouncing it.
Sorry.
No,
It's fine.
Ryrid.
it's hard.
Owain Gwynedd is a provable historical figure, but if he had sons by those names, they are lost to history. Second, the wall that Sevier claimed was Welsh might be correct, but if so, it was built by the Welsh between 300 and 500 CE, which is Common Era. In other words, it was built well before a mythical Maddox would have been a twinkle in his father's eye. Furthermore, if this armor existed, it has been lost to history.
That's definitely a lot of problems with the Maddox theory.
Yes.
The Cherokee of Ohio also spoke of a moon-eyed people, and some historians think that these could be the mound builders of the Adena culture that existed as early as 500 BC. If so, we know little about these people, but what evidence we do have is tantalizing. For example, the Creole, am I saying that right, Creole?
Creole, I'm not sure.
Creole mound in West Virginia revealed, among other things, a skeleton of a man who would have been 6'3" to 6'4". Thus it seems he might be a race of red-haired, red-bearded giants of the time that roamed the southern half of the United States. Could these have been the mysterious moon-eyed people?
Another theory is that there were whole tribes wiped out by diseases brought over by European settlers. In fact, by some estimates, up to 90% of the indigenous population was wiped out by European diseases in the 16th and 17th centuries.
That's sad.
Thus, many thought that the Native Americans were only small populations sparsely settled. They did not understand that they were seeing the remnants of a much larger civilization. The Cahokia mound builders, for example, were a massive culture in the southern part of America, with the Cahokia mound surrounded by a temple complex and a town that was twice the size of London at the time, and the largest city in North America until the 20th century. So it is clear that at some point in the past, there were many wars among the native people. But it's pretty certain that almost none of these people were Welsh.
Right.
So, final thoughts. What do you think?
It sounds like they were some kind of Vikings or something to me. It really does. And we didn't talk about it, but I seem to recall at some point your man crush talking about that there were some scholars who believed that Welsh people had, or Vikings had found the United States well before any of the European settlers came over here. And I feel like this kind of just lends credence to those theories.
And that is very possible. And yeah, in fact, because there's a rock on an island, and it's underwater now, or it was. They might have rescued it, but it has writing on it, and that writing appears to be Viking runes.
Right.
So yes, it is very possible that Vikings were in the New World, at least for a little while. Around the time of, I want to say, Eric the Red.
Yes.
And I didn't cover that because I never considered it as part of the Moon-Eyed People myth. Because the thing that gets to me about it is the one thing they agree on, whether they talk about them actually being white or mention a color at all, the one thing they agree on is these people could not see well during the day.
Right.
And I don't know of the Vikings being that people, especially seeing as they fought in snow-covered land.
Okay, but you have to think about, so let's just think about this in an idea of how awful must that trip have been across the ocean way back then. And once they made that trip, what would that have done to the actual human body? I can see where you have an entire new, massively different ecosystem that your body is getting adjusted to. I would imagine that could change, like, your whole ability to function. So it would be very possible. I can see it being very plausible for these people who were in this massively colder climate, who had been on the ocean for months, and then came into this. We talked about all of the thousands of species of animals and plants and completely different ecology than what they were used to. That totally can mess up your whole abilities. Think about all of the allergens that we have now. You're in a different area as far as the sun. I mean, it's definitely your whole body chemistry is going to be battered and barraged by this whole different ecosystem that you're now living in. That could totally change your ability to see, your ability to interact with the world around you. I just really think that it very much could have been, kind of a perfect storm of just a complete change of the ecosystem that they were living in. And that's just how the indigenous people described what they were seeing with these different people.
That's a good theory. Krysta, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, I think they're Vikings. There's not much to it. I'm not gonna add a whole paragraph behind it because I'm just tired.
She's tired. She's so tired.
See, I don't know. I like the Viking idea, but my only question with that is, why did they go so far inland? And I almost think, okay, we talked about Göbekli Tepe, and I think there are some older cultures we know very little about. And here's the thing. While I was doing the research, one of the things that they kept showing was these Native Americans that were albinos. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if there wasn't a tribe that tended towards albinism that either got wiped out or married off into other tribes, which is why they would keep breeding albinos. And I hate to say it, but all these pictures of albino Native Americans I saw, they looked so startled. Like, what am I doing here? And I didn't
see the pictures, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
But so I would guess that it is a tribe that just didn't survive. That they might have been gone before the English or the European settlers ever got here. Just chased off and because, I mean, you know, if they were truly moon-eyed and like they couldn't see during the day, that would be why they died, is because the other Native Americans who could took advantage of that fact. And while the Native Americans, for the most part, weren't all about hunt them down to the very last one. I think at a certain point, you just nature sort of closes out things. And I think that this tribe could have been long gone before European settlers ever got there. And the best we got are these very old stories that is like a game of the telephone game that got played generation after generation after generation.
Exactly.
And so it could have been Vikings. It could have been another tribe. It could have been aliens. We don't know. And so, but I do have some worries in that, like, okay, like the Madoc legend doesn't really show up until around the time that England is starting to send groups to the New World, and Spain had already claimed the New World. So Madoc is this, if he existed at all, is an Englishman in the New World before the Spanish. So it sort of gives the English land rights, right?
Right.
Which makes me doubt whether or not he existed.
Right.
And if they did find these brass breastplates, where are they? What happened to them? So I just...
Right.
I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it, but if I were to take the best guess I could, I would say they're a tribe that just didn't make it for whatever reason. And they didn't last till the American, or what would become the Americans, got here, because we didn't see them. We could only talk to the Cherokee about them.
Fair enough.
So.
Well, then I guess that brings us to the end of our information.
Thanks for listening, as always. Thanks for sharing our last episode. That was amazing, and the listens are still rolling in. Lots of people listening to the Stonewall Uprising episode.
Didn't I talk a lot in that episode?
You did. You did. But yeah, but that one has, like, really surpassed quite most of our episodes at this point. Awesome. Even Sharon Kinney, which gets a fair amount of play because Krysta doesn't like her.
Oh, yeah, the Sharon Kinney episode.
But, so, yeah, thanks to those of you who have shared that episode.
Keep sharing it.
Yeah, keep sharing it. I feel like it's an important episode. It was an important episode for us to do, and so I'm glad to see it get embraced. So that's cool. Thanks to Bill Barrett. Bill being the only person who guessed what this week's episode was about, because a farmer in the 19th century found this statue that they think might have been made either by the Cherokee or by the moon-eyed people themselves, but it's like these two figures that are like connected with like flat features. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so Bill's the one who said these people could see well in the moonlight, and he didn't give it away, so I appreciate that, but he made it clear he knew what the picture was from. Thanks, Bill.
There you go, Bill.
Also, Bill does our theme music. If you need music for a project, Bill's your guy. You can reach him at Bill Berendt. That last name is spelled BEHRENDT at sbcglobal.net. Thanks, Bill. Thanks to Paige Elmore of Reverie True Crime. Not only does she have a great podcast in the Reverie True Crime podcast, so if you need a good true crime fix, she's your lady, but she also has a Canva addiction. So she got together with our Krysta to do some logo art. Thank you, Paige.
Thank you, Paige.
And also thanks to Aaron Gnurk of the Big Dumb Fun Show, who continues to promote us locally. Join us next week as we look into the Beast of Give It On, or maybe something else. Bye. Bye.